This is a short demo of something that I've been working on, and I want to share it with you guys because I need to get some input to see if this is something that you may find useful or not. This website for now lives in my local computer. It's not live anywhere, so don't ask me to send you the link because it's not anywhere. And if there is enough traction, I can actually make it live and share it with everyone. That shouldn't be a problem at all. So log in. First step, log in. Actually, the first step is register. You should register. I have already registered, so I'm just going to log in here, and it takes me to the home page. Here I'm going to put something. I don't know what I'm going to put, but something's going to be here. And the first thing that you need to do in order to start seeing the graphs of your data, because this is based on your own data, is go to the Actions link menu and click Import CSV. Here I have a statement. I will never share your information. I have no interest in sharing your information, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm not a huge company. I'm not going to sell this data. I'm just a guy writing a website. Here I have brief instructions on how to get the correct data, because Airbnb and Verbal, they offer different formats, so we have to pick the right format. And to get the data into the system, just select the choose button. This is my Verbal data, the CSV file, and then import. And this is not finished yet. I need to figure out how to manage the properties. But here, what would happen is I would ask you for some property details so I can differentiate all your properties, like maybe adding an address so I can plot it on a map later, and nicknames so you don't have to deal with I think Airbnb is the one that gives you only the address. So if you have a ton of properties, just showing the address alone, it can be confusing. So you have the option to add a nickname so you can tell your properties apart. Okay, so this is getting the data into the system. Now let's show the data. So I've broken it down into three different categories so far. Like I said, this is a work in progress, and let's go through the first one, which is payouts. As I said before, I think I said it before, I'm a host as well, and I have two properties. So this is my actual property data, and I have broken down these three charts by Airbnb payouts, Verbal payouts, and combined, because this tells a story. This is a story that I want to share with you guys now. On Airbnb, it shows like my property Pineapple Cove is doing a lot better. And it is. It is obvious that it's doing a lot better. These charts will show you the month and the year that the data was used for creating this, and of course the total amount. Now, what I've decided to do, since my properties are fairly new and I don't have too much data, this is a rolling year. So we just switched months over to June. So now I'm able to show May because it's completed. My May didn't do so well. Here, we move on to Verbal. And Pineapple Cove is not doing well at all in Verbal for whatever reason. I don't get too many bookings coming from there, but Turtle Cove is actually not doing so bad, right? And based on these two graphs, you couldn't tell which one is doing better overall. But the third one is the two Airbnb and Verbal combined. And even though Pineapple Cove was doing better overall in Airbnb, which is where I get most of my bookings, probably like pretty much everybody else. The one that comes ahead in general is Turtle Cove, right? And this is a story, I think, especially when you have more than two properties, you can easily see which ones are your real stars, right? And which ones are the properties that are not doing so well, and you can make decisions based on that. The other category that I have that I want to show here is bookings. This is booking related data. The first chart, I'm showing how long are my bookings, how many I get for how many days. Like, for example, what I mean is here where it says days per booking. That's what I mean. And for Turtle Cove, I have 15 bookings that are 1 day in the rolling year, right? And Pineapple Cove, it has 21 bookings in the rolling year. So it's 1 year starting in June 1st of last year until the end of May of this year. So that's my rolling year, 12 months back. And here the graph is telling me that most of my bookings are 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and for Pineapple Cove, 5 days. For some reason, Turtle Cove doesn't get too many 5-day bookings, but now I can see that, right? So it's easy for me to see these things. And I have bookings. Pineapple Cove has 2 10-day bookings, which are nice, and Turtle Cove only 1. The next 2 graphs show where the bookings come from, your percentage, and how many vacant days you had throughout the year. Here we have pretty much 60% of my bookings in Turtle Cove are coming from Airbnb, 35% from Vrbo, and I have about 9% of vacant days, which translates into 33 days. And some of it I know what it is because I had to close down the house for some renovations. And here is Pineapple Cove, which shows the data that we saw on the payouts, right? So if you go to payouts, Vrbo, it doesn't have too much Pineapple Cove, but the bookings, reflect that. Most of my bookings for Pineapple Cove are coming from Airbnb, close to 14% from Vrbo, and this house has only 23 days vacant throughout the year. And lastly, I want to show pricing. I am using a pricing management software, and as you can see, my prices are all over the place, and there are some reasons why, I understand why this is like that. So this is my between 200 and 300 per night is my average until the high season where it goes up a little bit, right? It can go up quite a bit, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna get booked. I have some outliers here, like for example, this one is $655 a night, and this was a booking that was done for New Year's, December 29. I think these people stayed 5 days or so. And by the way, these prices are the average price per night for that particular booking. And here I have another one. This one is June 23rd. I don't know what it correlates to, but it was people were willing to pay a high price. So maybe next year I'll keep in mind that this date is hot, so I might be able to raise my prices a little more and have somewhat confidence that it will book. The data will tell later. Also, I wanted to show this low price bookings. I have a few bookings that are very low priced, and this goes back to the bookings data. I can show why. Bookings data is because of this. These one-day bookings are the bulk of my low price bookings. These are days that, like, within 3 days of the booking, if the property is vacant, we drop the prices in order to rent the house, right? Because we want to work the house as much as possible. These houses are investment properties, and they're supposed to be making money. So we try to maximize the money that we make when lowering these prices. So it's either we keep the house open for 1 day, or we book it, and we make the money for the booking. And right now, my wife and I were doing the cleaning, so we get to keep that money too. And let's go pricing. And there's a similar case for my property, Pineapple Cove. Most of my bookings, as we know already based on my data, most of my bookings are coming from Airbnb. Not too many Verbal bookings. And this is also a very telling story, because Verbal, I just realized myself that Verbal has some power-ups. I don't know what they call it, power-ups or boosts, that you can boost a property for certain date ranges. And I know that between here and here, I have 0 bookings from Verbal. So I can probably use my power-ups for this property during this time period. So hopefully I will get more bookings from Verbal between these dates. And that's all I have for now. This is what I have done in a short period of time. I probably can churn out each chart in 1 or 2 days, and I'd like to get more feedback. And if somebody wants to use this and try it, that will also help me, because my data is very limited. I only have like 1.5 years of data, probably 2 years tops. I don't have any more. So in order for me to create more elaborate charts, more progress over time things, I need more data, and additional data will help me. There is 2 steps that I want to use this idea that I want to implement it in 2 ways. The first way is to show each property owner their own data, their own graphs based on what they provide. And eventually, this is something that I want to do at a later time, is use the data set as a whole to create reports and forecast statistics and that kind of stuff. That is kind of like what's the other AirDNA or something like that. It will be something like, but I don't know how they get their data, but this will be based on your own data. But that's later on. That's not now. Another thing that I wanted to do is I created a Facebook group that I'm going to post the link on the description. And because I don't want to hijack this group for conversations regarding this, the admins are probably not going to like it, and I don't want to get kicked out. So I'm going to post that Facebook group in the description of the video. And please feel free to join. Please feel free to ask questions. Please feel free to comment, criticize anything that might help me develop this into a better product for you. That's all I have for now. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for your time. And hopefully I'll be seeing some of you later on the Facebook group.